Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. I'm going to go over my normal schedule as per usual, which is Roblox, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omegle, Lisk, Cardano, and IOTA. All of those in that order. Any more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. Other than that, if you're interested in monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities, you can check out my premium content. I also recently added 5 high return cryptocurrencies for your 2018 portfolio. This includes some hidden gems that I've never talked about before. And other than that, if you're interested in trading altcoins, go check out Binance. I'll also have a link to them in the description of this video. Let's get started with the general market update. We can see that a lot of cryptos are still in the red, and actually earlier today there was a recovery, but it looks like things are already pulling back a bit. And what that means is that the market is still a bit weak, right? We do have some that are doing surprisingly well. Bitcoin Gold got a bit of a pump, up about 50%. Ethereum Classic not doing bad at all here. But overall, as you can see, there is still quite a bit of red. Still need some time until we see some recovery here, it looks like. So let's get started with the technical analysis with Roblox. What's happening with Roblox right now is definitely some volatility. It's definitely struggling to get out of this downtrend fully. We can see that it made a bit of a progress over here, and currently it's managing to hold a little bit above that downtrend line. I mean, it depends on how strict you want to be. You could extend this over here, but it's definitely in the process of trying to flatten out. The thing is that it is a little bit range bound, unfortunately, and that's what's creating a lot of the issues. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in the range here, but it more or less corresponds to what's in between these two lines right here, these two green lines. And as you can see, we're trading in between those two things, especially if I go ahead and extend this a little bit more. In between this area, a lot of trading happened where we just consolidated, and then we had a dip. Now we're back into that range. So we really want to make sure to get above that, really break above this, basically get back towards that 200,000 Satoshi level, right? But once we get above 190,000 Satoshis, then we broke above some pretty heavy resistance, and we should really be able to get back above 200,000 Satoshis. For now, expect more consolidation until we're able to get that breakout, and it's just going to take some time, I think, at this point. Now, we're going to go over to Bitcoin next, see what's going on. Bitcoin has pulled back a little bit. Let me go ahead and update the chart here a little bit, zoom in one more time. But as you can see, it is definitely struggling here as well, right? We managed to get out of the downtrend line, which is a good thing, but we're still struggling to really make our way back towards the middle band. That's at $14,725, and on the current candlestick we're moving back towards our support level at $13,673. So really what's happening here is just some consolidation in between that and the middle band. Indicators still acting pretty weak, no real sign of crossover there. So for now, Bitcoin, we're just gonna have to wait for some kind of signal, right? Maybe a move above the middle band or something like that, to confirm if it's going to see some strength or more weakness, right? There's really no way to tell right now because we need some kind of signal, not much going on. Let's go over towards Ethereum, which was doing really well earlier today, and it looks like it is pulling back a bit now. So we actually put in a new all-time high of $1,419, now pulling back a bit from there and put in a bit of a double top at 1388. So we may come back and test this support level at 1289 or just the uptrend line. Really depends. Overall though, it is still looking pretty strong. We could see some consolidation in this area, but it's still holding its uptrend line very well, to be honest. So until we lose that, we're still looking pretty good here as far as Ethereum is concerned, and the indicators are also looking pretty good. The one thing that I should point out though now is that we have a bearish divergence here in the making on the histogram and the RSI. So what that means is that we usually see a price drop in the near future after this signal. And the bearish divergence is when the indicators are starting to downtrend while the price is actually uptrending. So I just drew the comparative green line here on the price, and you can see that we put in higher highs, where on the indicators we actually put in lower lows on these two peaks. So that's where the bearish divergence comes into play, and that usually means that we're going to see a drop follow that. Let's go and take a look at how Litecoin has been doing. Looks like we attempted to break above $267. Didn't manage to do that. It's a good thing that we tested that finally for the first time in a bit, but didn't manage to hold that, right? So still some weakness and coming back and even maybe dipping a little bit below the downtrend line. If we get back below that, not a good sign, right? We'll see even more weakness, probably come back towards $220. Flattening out on the MACD histogram and RSI, which is a good thing, but we need to get a crossover for that to be a confirmed bullish move, right? Because otherwise we may continue to see this and could see some more consolidation or even some weakness. So want to make sure we hold above the downtrend line and really make sure we can get back above $267. But for now, at least we're kind of holding above the middle band. That's at $248, and a little bit of consolidation here might be good, but we do want to make sure we can get a break, at least moving towards $300 pretty soon here. Let's go over towards Ripple and see how it's been doing. Ripple has also been pretty volatile. It was able to get a little bit of a bounce, and that didn't really pan out too well. I need to go over to Bittrex here, but it had that bullish news with MoneyGram and looked like it put in a little bit of a bottom here in the short term, but that didn't pan out, right? Because we weren't able to hold above $2. That's where the real problem came into play. And then we saw us lose all the support. So now what's happening is, we're pretty much back to downtrending, right? And I have to go ahead and put in a new downtrend line that corresponds to this line right here. So what you see is a bit of a channel between our previous downtrend line, that's the pink one right here, and the green one. So I expect the price to trade in between those two lines until we get back and test really once and for all, because we didn't do that even on the previous drop, the uptrend line, right? That would be a very interesting area to see a bounce. So as far as the indicators go, still not looking good, which means that there is a pretty high chance that we test that uptrend line, right? And we're going to go over next to NIO. Take a look at how NIO has been doing. So let's see if NIO is, so it looks like NIO is currently experiencing a indecision candlestick, a bit of consolidation basically. Did manage to put a new all-time high on the previous candlestick, which is great, right? All the way up to $148.90. Indicators still looking pretty strong actually, so that's a good thing. A little bit of a bearish divergence on the histogram and RSI, but for now they're still holding pretty nicely. And what I see with this candlestick right now is it bounced off the 129 mark, which was the support level. So as long as we're able to hold above that, I think we're fine. And if we're able to also continue to trend along this uptrend line, that'll be a very good sign as far as how much strength we have left, right? If we're not able to do that, then we may see some consolidation, and if we're going to see a drop, we'll have to break first below $129. But for now, it's still looking pretty strong. And as you can see, buyers really bought up these lower levels, right? So we do have a pretty long lower wick for the time being on this candlestick, which is a pretty good sign. Of course, that $150 mark may be a bit of a short-term top just because it is kind of a big round number, right? Getting close to $150. So that's something to keep in mind. However, if we do break above that, that means that we'll probably be able to run, close to $200, I think. So it could go either way, basically. But definitely an important level, that $150 mark. And let's take a look at Vertcoin, see if it's been able to recover out of that dip that it was in. So it looks like it's not looking great. It tried twice here to get back and hold above $6.35, didn't manage to do so. And obviously, when that type of double top happens, we usually see a pullback, and that's what we're seeing right now, right? Dipping back below that downtrend line, which is not what we wanted to see. And if we really hold above below that, probably going to see it move and trickle down lower right back towards that $4.85 support level, which we didn't really want to go that low in the first place, but that's what it's looking like for the time being. Decreasing volume as well, which isn't the best sign. And indicators tried to flatten out, but now it looks like a pretty much complete rejection there as far as the indicators go. And they all look like they're going to start moving lower. So Vertcoin still not seeing any real bullish signal or strength. Let's go over towards Monero. And wow, so I'm not too sure what happened with this candlestick right here, but that might be a glitch. Or sorry, I'm on Kraken actually. I believe they were down today. I don't usually do my technical analysis on Kraken. Let's go over to Bittrex, and looks like we're basically trading in between $400 and that $444 support level, which is fine. Pretty good area for Monero right now, to be honest, so I don't really have a problem with that. It looks like it's holding above that 57 line on the RSI, which is good. Also a nice little uptrend happening here. Maybe a little bit of a bullish divergence even on the histogram, about to cross over. Looks like we're about to cross over above the orange line as well on the MACD, which would be the second time if that happens during this downtrend, and that makes it more likely to hold. So I actually think that Monero is looking pretty good here. We got the middle band uptrending as well, and as far as the price confirmation for a move higher, we'd have to get back above $443, right? But I think that we may see that happen if the market is able to regain strength within probably the next 2 weeks. So definitely something to pay attention to here for Monero. And we're going to go over to our next cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is going to be OmiseGO, and see how it's been acting. So let's take a look. Looks like OmiseGO tried to manage to get back above the previous uptrend line. Didn't happen, so we saw a pretty harsh pullback, and going to see maybe a little bit of consolidation in this $23 area, or we're probably going to come back down and test that $22 level. Indicators maybe starting to see a little bit of weakness here. We're still trading in between these two trend lines in the symmetrical triangle formation on the RSI. So to whichever side we break, that'll probably set the trend as far as the momentum goes. And we're going to go over to Lisk now, see how Lisk has been doing. And Lisk is still trading in this channel between the previous uptrend line and the current uptrend line, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. We can see that it didn't manage to get back above $30 this time around, so we're seeing a little bit of a pullback now. And we actually kind of got a negative crossover on the MACD histogram, RSI kind of flat. So I'm not too worried about it. The one thing that I will point out is the middle band is trying to maybe cross below the uptrend line and maybe flatten out or maybe even start downtrending. That could be a little bit of a worrisome sign, and we also have a bit of a downtrend now in the making as far as that price action goes on Lisk. So two things could happen here. Either we're going to continue, I think either way we're going to come back and test this uptrend line here. And in part that's because of the downward pressure from this downtrend line, this green downtrend line. So we're either going to get a bounce off that, going to be able to break out at the downtrend line and continue to trade in between this channel, or we're actually going to see some more weakness here for Lisk and manage to break below the downtrend line, which would probably put us back towards $22 and probably see some consolidation there if that were to happen. We just have to wait and see as far as that is concerned. Let's go over and take a look at how Cardano has been doing. Managed to get a bounce here just 2 days ago, and a little bit of a double top at 6,882 Satoshis. I'll go ahead and put in that resistance level there. Currently pulling back right from that double top. So going to probably test this uptrend, the middle band again, and that's still uptrending nicely. With that being said, we now have crossed over bearishly on the MACD histogram, and RSI is definitely downtrending here. I'll go ahead and put in that downtrend line. So not looking very strong on the indicators. We'll see what happens. We want to make sure at least that we hold the middle band, but since it has been going up so much and it looks like now we didn't manage to put in a higher high for the first time in a while. I should go ahead and actually put that in. We actually put in a lower high for the first time in, since the uptrend started, really. So that's kind of the first sign usually of some weakness. And we're now in a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation, so to whichever side we break out of, that'll set the trend. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us lose that middle band for a bit, right? Maybe see some weakness here in Cardano. That could definitely be because of the general market weakness as well, so keep that in mind. Let's go over and take a look at IOTA. So IOTA is actually not looking that bad. Definitely wasn't able to get above $4, which is not the best sign, but at least got a pretty strong bounce off the downtrend line, the green line right here. And it looks like it's flattening out pretty nicely on the MACD, also starting to uptrend a little bit on the histogram. Not really much to say about the RSI for the time being. I guess I could go ahead and say that we broke out of this short-term downtrend line, but I'm not sure how meaningful that would be at this time, right? Move above 60 would be a bit more meaningful. So what can we look for moving forward for IOTA? Well, I would say a crossover on the MACD and histogram would be a very bullish signal if that were to happen. And even at this point, since it's been consolidating for quite some time in between $3.42 and $4, if we can get a break that holds above $4, that'll definitely be a pretty big bullish signal. And since we already tried to do that a couple times, I wouldn't be surprised to see a spike back to the resistance level at $4.75, right? It is also possible that we just see some weakness and continue to trend lower along this downtrend line, continue basically more consolidation, right? $3.42 is the major support level to pay attention to. That's pretty much it for IOTA at the time being. Once again, don't forget to take a look at my premium content if you're interested in that, monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities, 5 high return cryptocurrencies. And with that being said, everyone, I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll catch you next time.